State Attorney General Jeff Landry. Hey, Mr. Jeff, how are you this morning? Thank you for joining us.
Good morning.
The bill prohibiting sanctuary city policies anywhere in the state, it's been approved and now headed to the Senate. You're optimistic it'll pass over there?
I'm an eternal optimist while I hold elected office. Look, here's the facts. 33 states right now have legislation moving through their legislative bodies and over 80 bills around the country to prohibit sanctuary cities. Our neighboring Texas, who we seem to all want to aspire to be, right? We want the state of Louisiana to have an economy as great as Texas's, just passed probably one of the most strictest anti-sanctuary city bills, and it became law just a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago now, and their governor signed it, and their attorney general went into action immediately to try to rid their state of these dangerous policies. These are policies that have been proven to increase crime in the area. I mean, they take away necessary tools that law enforcement officers use to protect our public, and so it's common sense legislation.
There's a mayor in New Orleans who shall remain nameless. Who thinks
Landry.
He's got a shot to be president of the United States. And I'm being totally serious. I'm sure you've heard those rumors, which means he will move farther and farther and farther to the political left, which means if there is a sanctuary city bill passed in this state, he will ignore that bill and dare the state, specifically the attorney general, to do anything about it. What are you going to do?
Well, I can promise you won't. If they pass this bill and it becomes law, you won't have to dare me to do anything. I'll do what I do all the time, and that is uphold the law, and I will go after him, and we will penalize him and his agency for engaging in these types of policies. I find it very odd that Mitch Landry, which I don't have no problem telling you who that mayor is, would want to continue to engage in policies that are basically only increase the crime rate in the city. I mean, just the last couple of weeks ago, New Orleans surpassed Chicago in the total number of homicides in that city. Back at the beginning of this year, as you can remember, I went after the mayor because the city of New Orleans, I claimed, based upon statistics, was 3 times as dangerous as the city of Chicago, which was in fact correct. Just this last couple of weeks, there are more homicides in New Orleans than they are in Chicago. Why the mayor would continue to want to do things that are that only take away the ability of law enforcement officers in that city to keep their citizens safe, again, is a bit mind-boggling. It's ridiculous.
The sanctuary cities you claim are harboring violent criminals. Do you have direct evidence of that?
Absolutely. I have direct evidence of that. In fact, if you look at Los Angeles, had a number of violent crimes spike after they became a sanctuary city. In fact, if you look at those cities that engage in sanctuary city policies across the board, statistically, their crime rates have increased in comparison to those cities that have not engaged in sanctuary city policies.
Mr. Jeff, what kind of changes, as this bill makes its way to the state Senate, what kind of changes, if any, and I guess what I'm hinting at, do you think this bill will be weakened or softened on the Senate side of the legislature?
Well, I certainly hope they wouldn't soften the bill. I think we've got a very good, productive, workable bill. We've worked real hard. We used a lot. We took a lot of the complaints that we heard on the Senate side last year. We incorporated them into this particular bill. We believe that we have provided a number of safeguards to allow cities to basically plead their case if they believe they're being unfairly targeted and that they don't meet the definition of sanctuary city policies within the bill. And so again, I think that the bill is in great shape and should be passed as it stands today.
Let me play political strategist for just a second. Can you perceive a situation where Mitch Landry in New Orleans says, okay, put me in jail as a political grandstand to sort of cement his bona fides as a real tried and true leftist?
Yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, look, listen, that's what we do with people who break the law. We put them in jail. That's where they're supposed to go. If you break the law in this country and you're sentenced, you go to jail. I mean, yeah, look, I'm not going to engage the mayor in his political shenanigans, but we are going to uphold the rule of law. It's evident that the mayor in New Orleans can't uphold the current rule of law. That's why his crime rate is spiraling out of control. But again, I think it's high time for the taxpayers of the state, who consistently send their good hard-earned tax dollars to the city of New Orleans, to demand that the city of New Orleans get their act together.